Namaste, everyone. Good afternoon. Well, my topic is Western challenges to Hindu identity. And one of the most important things, what was very common to all three of my co-panelists today, is the fact that there is something that we have to do. I mean, we all have different ideas about what has to be done, and many common ideas about what has to be done. But one of the most important things, one of our greatest challenges today, is the fact that we have very little understanding of who we are and what we are doing and what the world looks like to us. We are children of two colonialisms, the Islamic colonialism and the British colonialism. Terrible things have happened in these colonialisms. Many things have been studied, many things have not been studied. But one of the things that has happened is here, what they did to our minds. What has happened to our consciousness. What we have been doing in the last centuries is looking at the world through the descriptions, through the eyes of those who colonized us. They came here, they saw us, they saw our traditions, they saw our practices. They met us, they spoke to us, they read our texts, they even made dictionaries and all that. And they gave a certain description of the world. A description that we're all familiar with. There's caste system, there's corruption, there's superstition. And we all see that. I mean, talk to anyone, we'll say, look, that's superstition. Someone, running around in a jatre with a stick through his tongue. Oh, look, that you buy tickets in the black market to a movie theater. Oh, look, there's corruption. Open any newspaper today, we'll find that as well. And that's what we see. That's how we describe ourselves today. But this is how the Europeans saw us. This is how they experienced us. And we simply take over that story. We don't know what the world looks like. It's like in between us and the world, there's a huge glass wall, which is like pink in color, say. And all our lives, we go through believing that the entire world is pink in color. But we don't know that it's the glass wall that's pink. Because there are all kinds of other colors in the world. There's yellow, there's green, there's purple. There are all kinds of other colors, but we don't know that. And that's what colonialism has done to us. It has given to us what is called colonial consciousness. Colonial prajna, for example. I mean, to put it in our language. So what we need today is labor. Lots of intellectual labor, actually, to make our experiences our own. To make our Bharatiya Samskriti our own, to develop our ideas, our concepts, our ways of looking at the world and start saying, look, this is what the world looks like through the eyes of our sampradayas and our samskritis. Because we don't know that today. We only have what they have told us about us. And we only have what they have told us about themselves too. What we also know, common sense tells us, is that one of the challenges of the Semitic religions is the challenge of conversion. Is the challenge where you're forced to convert, or you willingly do, convert to another religion. That is true. It is one of the challenges we face today. But there is a second, far more insidious, far more poisonous and dangerous way that Semitic religions spread, in a way that they are a threat to us. But we don't know that today. And that is in the disguised form where religion masquerades, where it masks itself and tells you that that way of existing, that way of being, is the rational way, the scientific way, the moral way, and the better way of being in the world. And that's what we think. We still believe that. I mean, they said Indians are irrational in comparison to what? The Christians who were rational. They said Indians are superstitious compared to what? To themselves, who follow the true religion. They said Indians are immoral. These are their descriptions. And today, in different forms, we still take over these descriptions. So it's in this insidious ways where we are unaware in many times in the way we speak. Like, to give you a very small example, my father's computer broke. It was an Apple computer, and his computer broke. And it was something that I had brought from Europe as a gift. And he said, look, why don't you take it back with you to Europe to get it repaired? And I said, but why should I do that? Just go to the shop, there's an Apple service center here in Bangalore. Send it off with them, and they'll get it repaired. And he said, no, no, no. They'll just steal the parts. You know, these Indians are all thieves. Chor hai sare log. They'll steal it. So why don't you take it with you to Europe? Now, this is a very, very common sense reaction, whether you do it, if you find someone in Delhi, whether you find someone in Bangalore, find someone in Bombay, it's a very, very typical Indian reaction. But what are we saying by saying that? These Indians, you can't trust them. These Indians, you can't rely on them. These Indians, they're immoral people. So easily we talk like that. It's so deeply entrenched. And my father didn't even realize what he was saying. This, ladies and gentlemen, is colonial consciousness. Colonial prajna. We don't know what the world looks like. We don't have access to our own cultures, to our own sampradayas, to our own samskriti. And it's an everyday language that it's present. It's an everyday language that religion spreads by making you think that your religion or your dharma or your traditions are bad. And this is a story of the last 300 years which they told, and we're still following it. So the challenge, the most important challenge, is to break the wall that's here. And it's telling you the entire world is pink. It's not. There are other colors. And we don't know today what the world looks like. And the only way to do that is we need to build intellectuals. Where are the intellectuals of today? Who is there? Sure, we have a Vivekananda, sure we have a Gandhi, sure we have Dayananda Saraswati, but in our generation, who is there? Very, very few people who are scientifically studying Indian culture and telling you this is what, telling the world actually, telling humanity, look, this is what our intellectuals are, this is what we have been doing for the last 2,000 years, and this is what we have to offer to the world of today and tomorrow. This is our challenge, a very serious challenge, and we have to face it now. Because there's a growing disquiet, a growing worry amongst the people that our youth is getting uprooted and is leaving our tradition. And there's truth to that. We can't get them back. We can't bring them to us by telling them you shouldn't wear short skirts, you shouldn't eat in McDonald's, you shouldn't speak in English. I mean, many people try telling them that. They say that's the solution. It's not. But their worry is correct. Our young people are moving away. And we have to bring them back to us. But we have to bring them back to us in the 21st century. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the challenge we face. To break colonial consciousness. And every generation that is born and that grows up and that lives here is far more deeply handicapped by this colonial consciousness and further away from her traditions. This is what we have to think about. Thank you very much.